Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning into my tarot channel. My name is Paulina and I wanted to share a message for the sign of Pisces, and that completes all of the signs for this sort of cycle here. I've done readings within the last 2 months, I think, for all the signs, and I just kind of took my time with it. But yeah, so Pisces, just gonna shuffle some cards here for you. I feel like you should be coming into some interesting energy because your second house is activated right now in Aries season, which can mean self-esteem. It can mean your place that you live, your even just location, your home, your way that you get money. These things could be highlighted right now, Pisces, or people with Pisces placements. Sorry, distracting. Color. Sweaters back there, sorry. Pisces, maybe you have to do some tidying and organizing. I'm just letting what is going on with me come into the reading, because usually I have a morning organization ritual, and I didn't get to it yet today. Anyway, you are opposite Virgo, which can be a sign of organization. So you may have like times where you're super like very persnickety with your organization, and times where it's like kind of everything's a mess. That's very Pisces, and it's very Virgo actually, because you're on the axis of sort of analysis and I was gonna say analysis paralysis, analysis and intuition, or analysis versus knowing, like deep knowing, which can be really hard. Okay, let's get a card for your energy. We got the Ace of Swords. I feel like there's going to be some situation where you have to take a stand. It may be mentally, it may be through speech, it may be through writing. And it actually is about your individuality and your individuation of thought. I think there is on the horizon here a new partnership with someone that will change some of these things that we talked about, since we're in the second half season for you of Aries. This new arrival of this person in time will change maybe where you live geographically and physically, as in your home. Like, you may move, and this person may affect your self-esteem in a positive way. They may help you with money, and because they love you. Pisces, I think that you've been going through a lot of, when I tune into like your auric field, it feels very like mushy and like almost like pudding, or like I'm moving through molasses. I think you're confused, and you've been like working sort of maybe you've been a little under the weather, or you've been like out of it, and just like finding a good anchoring point in life, in your mind. You know, that could be reading for 20 minutes a day, reading the news, listening to the news, writing in a journal, you know, or as I said, organizing, finding those anchor points of clarity, because you are so inundated with energy, and really are actually very quite psychic sign, even though most Pisces are unaware of how psychic they are. You are leaving a situation. It's definitely very much over, and you know, it feels scary, but you know it's the right thing. Let's get some reasons as to why you're leaving, because it felt just like the right thing to do. Like your moral judgment was like, I can't be in this anymore. It has to do with society and marriage and the church, and you know, sort of goodwill and giving in some ways. And I think that you felt like you had expended your ability to be in possibly, it may be more than one situation. So you left a situation, and now there may be some new love on the horizon for you, and you're feeling confused in your life right now. Not just because of these situations you left and the disorientation, but also you're just like, I don't know if you maybe have been like having memory issues, or like, I'm just feeling very like, maybe you're doing some drugs. You know, Pisces can do drugs and alcohol, and that can be like a big coping mechanism, or just escapism, or, you know, maybe you're meditating, or, oh, you know what this could be? You're sleeping a lot, which can be a sign of depression. That may be what I'm tuning into. And if you actually oversleep, that can be bad for the brain. So yeah, just tuning into like how your daily schedule is. Like, you don't want to sleep like 12 hours. That's really not good. And you also don't want to, I'm getting a message from Spirit that night eating could be bad for you. That may be a little bad habit there for you, indulging in eating at night. And that's really bad for your digestive system. It puts extra work on the body while you're sleeping. And you really need that rest time, Pisces. Yeah, there's been some sort of tower situation in your life where some really dark situation where you were like tested, your faith was tested. People maybe did something to you, like something really unfair, and it was scary, and you had to like survive, like with your grit. I'm thinking about that movie True Grit. Have you ever seen it? There's a remake, but it's an old movie. It's just like a Western, but it's just interesting, like, you know, fight scenes, and it's actually very much like choreography. But the idea of the Old West, I feel like there's something in you that is like, has a lot of grit, actually, Pisces, and you kind of refuse to give in to, you know, whatever these people tried to do to you or like made happen. You were like, I will not succumb to this. I'm going to keep going in my life, because your intuition, your higher self, your psychic knowing said, like, I can get through this. And you were right. And also you saw through with the High Priestess. You saw the fallibility of what these people were doing. Like, that there was sketchiness, there was, you know, it couldn't hold itself up, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. Like, it was like a table with no legs. And so the best thing for you to do was to leave that situation. I'm getting the Hierophant again. I think you felt some commitment here since we got it again with this situation. Like, you couldn't leave for a while because you felt like obligated. But I'm really glad that you're out of that situation. And I think there may be some scars or something that you're dealing with, some deep fear I'm getting with the Tower reversed that you had to deal with. But yeah, I think, you know, you're actually in your emotional power here, which means that you've sort of managed to find a more general, like, even keel sense of well-being that lasts a longer period. Whereas before, I think with the Tower reversed, these people had you like in a terrified state. And I think you were just doing the best you can, because it really was a scary situation. I'm not sure what it was. I'm just getting that you have had to learn that letting go of things that you thought brought stability is necessary sometimes for survival. You know, you had to be like, okay, well, maybe you lived with this person, you know, maybe it's your boyfriend or something, and it became unsustainable, and then you had to leave and you had to go find some other living situation. It's not ideal, but you had to do it because you couldn't stand that situation. So you had the stability of living with the boyfriend, maybe splitting the bills with you, but it was not a good situation. And that can be applied to other situations, like jobs, family, friends. Apply as needed. You feel like you don't know, like, what your financial quest or your financial path is right now. You're like, I'm ready and rearing to go to make money, but maybe you're like, you don't have the right career, or like you're not in a place where you can really work right now. Oh. I think actually I'm just gonna let this come a third time. You know, you have a greater role in society, like to be healing and kind to people because of this situation, because of what you've been through with leaving this situation. You see how people can take advantage and use their power in effed up ways, and you're like, I'm not gonna let that happen to me or anybody again. And of course you can't control the world, but to your best of your ability, you now feel compelled to have a role in society where that is important to you. Well, this was reversed. There was some sort of bad reputation that made you also leave this situation. Like maybe these people were trying to like badmouth you or like put like some, you know, slander on your name, and you were just like, I'm not even gonna engage with this. Like I'm out is what I'm hearing. And that was the right thing to do, Spirit's saying. And Pisces, you need to just find the closure within yourself. These people aren't going to give it to you. They're not going to apologize. You know, no one who was seeing you, how they, you know, I don't think many people were turned to see you how they were trying to get people to see you, but you know, it doesn't really matter what those people think because they don't know the truth of what happened, and you do. So I'm saying let them sort of gossip or whatever, tell people how horrible you are, because you know the truth. You know what they tried to do, and you know what they did do, and how damaging it was. And you're not there, which is a huge testament to passive resistance and your need for peace, and your empowerment, your spiritual. Oh, I just got like a big surge of energy. You're a lot more empowered now. So you are like, I'm not going to tolerate situations that are detrimental to my mental or physical well-being anymore. And the black cat in Egyptian times was seen as a guardian against demons. So I think you've got some extreme protection that you're not even seeing that like got you through this, but also that Pisces can be a sign of you know, magical protection, actually, of like being related to mediumship and psychics and spirituality and spiritualism. And so you Pisces, I think the main thing with that last card we got, which is like about a deep ending and an acceptance, is that like you've tolerated a lot, and just try to be in peace now. Be in peace, go in peace, as they say at the end of Mass. And, you know, don't spend time perseverating or thinking about this situation. That is wasted energy. Spend time thinking about forward-thinking things, about the future. You have an amazing, actually, capacity to, like, see the future, because your 12th house is in Aquarius. So not only does that make you a humanitarian, a little bit stubborn, and an amazingly innovative thinker, it also makes you really able to see, like, future possibilities and just see it before it happens. Because Aquarius is a sign of insight, and you are a sign of psychic intuition and sensitivity. So you may really have that ability, and also to do that with others, because Aquarius can be about groups in your 12th house there. So you could be the psychic of the community, really, Pisces, or the healer of the community. And you know, you do bring death to the community. I hate to say it, but you make us aware of how beautiful and fragile life and death is. And I think that's a gift, and I think that you've come to know it a little bit more yourself through this situation. Also with Aquarius in the 12th house for you, that can mean, sorry, there was something really intense I was gonna say. I mean, it can really just mean a genius person that, with hidden activism skills, for one thing. So I think you may be bringing your genius into the world now in a bigger way, and I'm excited for you, and I'm sorry that it had to be brought about by this negative circumstance, but that's what I see for you. I'm sending you so much love, and I wish you all the best.